Hello, my lovelies. How are you doing today on this lovely Sunday, the last day of the weekend or the first day of the week, however you like to look at it? I hope whatever you're doing, you've had a fantastic day because that'll be fantastic. Oh, let me know who's on. Say hello. Hi, Debs, darling. How are you doing? I'm a little bit late today because I had a few things to organise before I came on. So I'm not long back from yoga, which was really, really good fun today. Who else is on? You're all flying on. Hey, Snow Babes. Hi, Madge. How are you doing? I bet you've had a great day. I bet you have. I've had a good day too. I know I am late today because I had a few things to do that normally Wink would do. Because I'm going to be on for quite a long time, one way or another tonight. I'm glad you're well, Debs. Yay, Joe, how are you doing? I looked out for your mum on Facebook, but I haven't had a friend request yet, but I haven't forgotten you. Hi, Lindsay. Hi, Patricia. How are you all doing? Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you for forgiving me. So, how are you all doing? Had a fabulous rugby weekend. Did you win the rugby? I haven't looked. I'm not a rugby girl. I'm not really a watching the telly or any sport type of girl. But when I lived in Edinburgh, the rugby weekends were amazing. A lot of Scotsmen in their kilts out, in their casual kilts with their long woolly socks and their caterpillar boots and their sweaters and their kilts swinging. It was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. The atmosphere in Edinburgh was really fantastic. But I haven't really followed rugby since. Hi, Elena. How are you doing? Hi, Sika. Who have I missed? Have I missed anyone? You are fabulous. Wonderful. Lots of love to Lee as well. I bet Cardiff is still recovering. So did you win? Did Wales win? Is it finished or is it going on next weekend? I know my parents were watching it. They came over late for dinner last night because they wanted to watch the match. Snow, Debs and I were playing Waiting for You to Join. Sue, do you have 2 Facebook pages? No, I have a few pages. I've got Wilson Pig. I've got a business page, but don't bother with that. I'm just Sue Verhoeven, just how it looks on my YouTube, only I have blue hair in my icon on Facebook. But I'll get it up and then you'll be able to see. Then you'll be able to see what it looks like. But actually, if you type SU space and then V, I usually come straight up because there aren't many people that spell their name SU. And there aren't many people with V's in their surname. But let me just get it up for you so you can see. Don't seem to be able to press buttons. There. That is my Facebook page. Okay, so I looked out. I did definitely look out. But there you go. Who have I missed? Had a wonderful Irish music played and sung at my church, and it's a beautiful, gorgeous day, already 60 degrees and sunny. Fantastic. Hi, Linda, Lulu. Welcome to our fabulous group of lovelies. Thank you for joining us. Tomorrow even warmer. Well, I haven't even looked at the weather. It's just been gale force winds. We've had sleet today. It's got very, very chilly. Actually, my feet got cold today, which I can't even remember them getting cold. Yes, Wales won the Triple Crown and the Grand Slam. It was awesome. Oh, I bet you've been celebrating. Be right back. Chrissy's going to be right back. Fantastic. You come up twice. Well, it's the one with the blue hair. I don't know what the other one is. No idea. But it's the same picture in both my business page and my main page. Yay, you were able to find me. That's amazing. Thank you, Lindsay. Just sent another friend request. Okay, I will look out for that later. Hi, Core babes. How you doing? The weather is lousy. Yeah, the weather is pretty lousy at the moment. Well, you know, all weather's good in some respect. There's lots of water going on the land, and it's going to make the grass grow pretty soon when it warms up, and the wind is drying it off, so it isn't a quagmire, which is quite nice. It's blowing all the leaves off the beech trees that stay on all winter, so my house looked like a leaf storm yesterday. I've actually cleared my house up. I've literally, it's like I've been robbed. But it's really good. Cold, but sun, spring soon yet. Spring is surely coming. I know some of you have still got snow, but spring is round the corner. And it's a great time. Spring is a great time. And I know some of you have been doing some spring cleaning. I can't admit to spring cleaning. I can admit to my parents coming for dinner and just such a tip of just drop and leave, just months of putting things on top of things. Yes, Joe, I did hear about that. I'm so sorry for you all. I expect your nation is very sad at the moment about that. Terrible business. Hi, Karen, sweetheart. How are you doing? Yeah, spring is coming, and it's a time of new beginnings. A lot of us do spring cleaning, sort of out with the old and in with the new, making space for new things. You know, we cut our gardens back, ready for all the new shoots to come up. The birds are busy tweeting around and sort of, you know, finding partners. They'll be building nests before we know it. I'm looking forward to the equinox as well, so we get some more light. I love the light, and I think there is a bit of a sadness that happens when the clocks go back every autumn. It used to be the beginning of me going downhill and becoming depressed again. And I used to kind of get depressed at the same time every year, but kind of never put two and two together and joined up the dots until about 2 years ago, actually. Yeah, we do deserve some nice weather, and I'm sure that we will be getting some nice weather. I am visualizing another searingly hot summer this summer because I love a bit of sun. I have to say, I love it. Glad you're doing well, Karen. Yeah, Lindsay, you're right. It's a shame that we can't all live in harmony, but it's human nature we're tribal by nature, and all other tribes are not your tribe, and so they're suspect. And we're territorial, and we defend our territory against other tribes, and that bit in us, you know, is still there because we're still primal, although we've lost most of it. And I think, you know, football clubs and teams that you support and things that you join is all part of our need to find a tribe, and then to kind of think that we're the best tribe and other tribes aren't as good as us. It's really sad. We're very destructive creatures. No, actually, I was really surprised, Joe. I wouldn't have expected it in your country either. It's kind of, no, you just don't associate it really with New Zealand. Yeah, I expect you are very on edge at the moment, but don't let that person win and put you off where you want to be within yourself. Oh, Linda. When your husband's daughter shows up after more than 2 years and shreds me. Well, how I would handle that is that's just her opinion of you, and you have your own opinion of you, and her opinion doesn't matter. Only your opinion matters. So you can't control other people and what they are going to say and what they are going to do any more than we can control whether it rains tomorrow or not. But you can control how you decide, that's the operative word, decide to handle it. It's up to you how you decide to let it make you feel. All our feelings and all our emotions are down to us. And other people's actions and words are down to them. So I would literally let go of any feelings that you might have towards that, Linda. You decide you are not going to let it touch you. And I'm sorry that happened. I know it must be very distressing in the moment, but you have to let things go as soon as you can. Have a moment of like, oh, and they go, hang on a minute. Because if you hang on to that, that's just going to be with you for days, weeks, months. You'll hark back to it in years to come. You'll remember the conversation in years to come if you let it. So don't let it. That's my advice to you. And it's advice that's worked very well for me. I have a book recommendation here, which I know a lot of you will have heard me recommend this before. It's called The Chimp Paradox, and it's by Professor Steve Peters. Steve Peters knows probably more about the human brain than any human being alive. I watched him speak, and he's almost certainly high-functioning Asperger's, so he will have been missile lock on this. He studied it from a physiological point of view, from a psychological point of view, and for the Ministry of Defence. And in that book, it will explain to you what your husband's daughter, why she behaved, how she behaved, and there'll be lots of deep-rooted things there. But that's for her to manage, not for you to manage. And it's a really, really good book. I highly recommend. I think every human being should read it. And then we would all understand each other, and particularly ourselves, a lot better. No, I don't think you missed anything important, babes. I'm just going on. I was just answering Linda's question about how to handle her husband's daughter who showed up after more than 2 years and shredded her, which was not a very nice thing to do. But that will totally have been her insecurities and her chimp completely out of its box, out of control. So you get your chimp back in your box, Linda, so that you are not affected by it, because it's not down to you. That's not down to you. Yes, I think I suffer a little bit from SADS, but I don't let myself suffer from it anymore, Debs. I recognize it's going to come, and I take action so that I don't start, as I said before, circling around that rim into that black hole that you could so easily slip down if you flirt with it. So I don't flirt with that anymore. I don't allow it to happen anymore. Yeah. Okay. I tend to get a bit low waiting for the light nights again. Yeah, I know, because it's kind of the long haul, but we're so nearly out the other side. If it were a tunnel, there would be light at the end of the tunnel. Just saying. Okay, so just keep on going. Even if it snows for another 2 weeks, spring is coming. It is coming. It's going to be here. And I know we're all really looking forward to it. Thanks, Madge. I'm glad that you thought I said that well. As you know, I always aim to give sound advice based on my own experience and things that I've read and learned, because I've done an awful lot of personal development over the last 4 years. I've read scores and scores of books. And lots of light bulbs have gone off in my head, and I have changed the way I behave largely. Yeah, take your power back, ladies. Roar. You're welcome, Linda. Chrissy's buffering. Sorry, sweetheart. Sorry about that. So I wonder if you have noticed the title to this live video. I need a slurp of drink. Slurp of drink. I'm quite thirsty after my yoga. Drinking out of my lovelies mug. There's been some more orders for mugs today. So there aren't many left now. I think there's going to be about 9 or 10 left. Sue, I did, Sue. Very curious about it. Okay. Well, I will reveal all. Linda Lulu. Sue posted something on Facebook today. Yes, I did, Linda. I did post something on Facebook. Are you on Facebook with me, Linda? I don't know. If you aren't, send a friend request, and I will gladly add you to my friends. And it is. I posted it today. I think it's about the second post down from the top, and it was a video I did on Facebook a year ago today, and it was kind of very relevant for me. And I know it's something that, although I know it inside out, I know about this, you know, other people's opinions and affecting what I do. But we all need reminding, however much you know about that, sometimes you can fall into your own little traps. And I actually fell into a giant trap on Thursday of my own making, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Yeah, hopefully it will be relevant to you, Madge. Thanks for that. Thanks for pointing that out. Lindsay, I need to get onto my MH services again. MH, what's MH? I don't know what that is. Sorry, for CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Right. And I also want to chase the bereavement counselling. That's a really good idea. I don't know if you saw the video where Dr. Gilmore talked about unresolved grief. If you have unresolved grief that you haven't dealt with, he said, you're never going to be well. You will just have these mystery illnesses and things will keep going wrong with you and you'll keep getting sicker and sicker and you won't know why. There'll be no real explanation for it. And he experienced that himself after the death of his wife in a car crash, you know, very sudden event. And he talks really passionately and from utter experience on that. And if I had to tell you what video that was in, I think I would be for ages and ages trying to find that video. I might be able to find it actually, because I sent a link to one of the lovelies, and I could go back through my feed, and I might actually put that link in if that would be useful to you, Lindsay. Just let me know. Elena, I figure we have darker days to get the lighter days. Part of nature, and the darker days mean I can enjoy my Christmas lights more. Silver linings, baby. I love that attitude. Chrissy's back again. Mental health. Excellent. I don't know why I couldn't have worked that out. Duh. Obviously being a bit slow on this Sunday evening here. Yeah, Chrissy, we spoke about that, didn't we? On Thursday or Friday, actually, about backslides. And I think a few of us have. And I think probably there are some people that have, but, you know, are afraid to say. What's going on? I didn't. That's going. I'm not sure what they didn't. I didn't. Yes, Elena. Sorry, sweetheart. I don't know what you mean by that's what's going on right now. Hi, Texan Grammy. Welcome. Lovely to see you. Thanks for joining us. Our lovely group. Cool. I have tons of knowledge and experience in self-help, as well as having been a counsellor, and I fall into traps. I'd really like to see that Dr. G video. Right. Okay. Will you both messenger me about it to remind me to look that up? Because I usually get hooked into a million things after I come off answering all private messages and stuff. And then before I know it's 3 a.m. Please just just send me a messenger message to remind me to look that up and see where I can find it, because I did send it to somebody. And I also, yeah, okay, I will look that up. Right, Lindsay, I will look. Okay, I'm absolutely going to look that up. I should have a little notepad. I should have one of Madge's notepads next to me. But guess what? They're all out of reach. I'm not going to get up now. The only time I'm going to get up is if that tumble dryer in the background starts doing its annoying beep to say that it needs my attention. Hi, Laurie, darling. How are you doing? Yeah, Debs, we all have slide backs. It's a constant. When you're trying to improve your life, improve yourself, improve your mindset, grow, learn something new, it's never a line like that. It's more like this. You know, we go back a bit, we go up a bit, we go back a bit, we go up a bit, we go up a bit more, we plateau, we get fed up, we fall back deliberately, kind of not deliberately, but a bit deliberately, like by our own making. And then we sometimes at this plateau stage, we lose heart and we give it all up. But mostly we carry on clambering up. Lindsay messaged me. Yay, fantastic. I need some notepads. Hey, you've got all the notepads. Oh. I didn't see Dr. DeLongre. I'm getting very physically ill at the moment. I need to feel better. If you have unresolved grief, it will be at the core of your health. Absolutely promise you that. So I will look that video up because I think it's going to be really helpful, definitely for a couple of you on here. I know he talked about it when I asked him if he was married before. With my big mouth. It's good to have a big mouth, babes. I know you know what I mean. Yay, I saw the notepad in the background when you were cooking. The no-bits recipe. They're all over the place, actually, the notepads. It's good that they're all so nice I don't want to write in them. It's a bit like the cleaning cloths, which I've used 2 of now. Oh! I keep going and getting the old ones to mop up dirty things. Crazy. Hi, Julie. How are you doing? Epic proportion. Tomorrow is a new day. Right, it is. It absolutely is a new day. And any second of any day, if you make a decision, can be the turning of a new page and a new chapter. Okay? So, you know, everything starts with a decision. And I made a decision just like shortly before I came on tonight, which is part of the reason that I was a bit late. Laurie, I sent you a friend request. Lovely that you're hooking up. Karen, some people don't realize you can grieve for someone you never meet. My dad died when I was 6 weeks old. I didn't realize he was never coming back until my grandfather died when I was 9. Oh, sweetheart. That is, that can be a really difficult thing to deal with. I have a friend of mine whose father died when she was 3, and she's still trying to resolve that now. She can't forgive him for leaving her. And she knows it's silly, but she's busy working through that. And it is so holding her back, which also she's an incredibly enlightened person and very in tune with herself and everything. She knows it is, and she's working really hard to get over that. But yes, you're right. And you can grieve for yourself for the loss of something. You know, you can grieve. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be somebody dying, but grief comes in all forms for all types of losses. You know, I slipped in. I mean, this is nothing compared to, you know, losing someone. And don't get me wrong here, but I think the reason I slid into depression as I went through early menopause was the loss of the girl in me. I kind of was grieving for the youth that I didn't have anymore, which is total rubbish, of course, but I didn't know it at the time. And it was hard. It led me into everything, you know. I ended up with pleurisy, you know, it's just like the woman that's never ill. You know, I literally curled into a little, you know, ball and sucked my eyeballs and my fingertips into Candy Crush Saga for months and months and months. I got to about level 400. It's just like insane when I look back at it. But you know, grief is a big thing, and I don't purport to know a huge amount about it. I think there are professionals that can deal with this, but you know, sometimes we don't recognize that we haven't actually fully dealt with grief. And if you push it to the bottom, it will rear its ugly head at some point, a bit like boxing your chimp. You cannot put a chimpanzee in a box, and if you put it in a box, it is going to go insanely crazy, and at some point it's going to come bursting out of that box like a jack in a box and just wreak havoc, you know, on your life and on you, and the people around you. So it's something really, I will look up the video, and I will, because he mentions it kind of, I think it's about, if I remember rightly, it's something like minute 23 to, you know, he talks about it for about 10 minutes, and it's very emotional and very vulnerable and laid bare and factual. Yeah, it's really good. So I will put that up. Hi, Debs. I think the post on those is more expensive than the actual notepad. Well, maybe I can take some out to Vegas, Madge, when I meet her in the flesh in May. Waterbed principle, push one bubble down and another pops up. My friend puts it that way. Yeah, that's a really good way. That's a really good way to put it. You have to get rid of all the bubbles, I guess. You have to pop them all individually, you know, and face the monster, as they say. Laurie, I brought up the question at that YouTube. I have been widowed coming up 10 years in September. I've also lost my parents, grandparents, and a few best friends. I'm so sorry for you, Laurie. That's an awful lot of loss for one person to bear. I'm very sorry for you, Laurie. Yeah, so you probably remember that, but it will be good for you to watch it again. And no, Don, please, Jackson, please do. Yeah, I will definitely do that. No one ever explained death to me. It's the ruination of my life. I'm so sorry that you feel that way, Karen. Okay. And in my experience, and I'm not pointing any fingers and I'm not trying to be hard, if you keep saying the sentence, it's the ruination of my life, it makes it true. Okay? Make that experience instead the making of your life. Okay? It's a difficult thing to do, and if you need any help with that, please do message me. Because, you know, let's just take my cyst, for example. I had a nasty, painful, giant cyst. I got treated all kinds of ways that were wrong, that I had no idea of. I was actually very sick. I had MRSA for months. Okay. And we would not be having this conversation now if that bad thing hadn't happened to me. It's been the best thing that's happened to me. Absolutely, hands down. It has changed the direction of my life so immensely. You know, my headspace is so different from where it was. My purpose. I found my purpose in life through something bad happening. So if I had been, oh, woe is me, oh, me, my poor back, oh, this is awful, oh, I can't do my yoga, oh, I can't do my fitness, oh, I've put on weight, oh, this is terrible, oh, the doctor said this today, oh, the waiting list is long. If I had moaned and groaned like this, for a start, none of you all would have followed me in the first place. You'd have watched the gore, and then that would have been the end of all of this. But it was my attitude towards it that kind of brought us all together. And we've now become this amazing, you know, group of lovelies who do, excuse the pun, have each other's back. So right now, right here, stop saying it's the ruination of my life. Start saying something different, whatever words fit in with you. You know, it's when you were little, you have no control over what happens to you, really, and you get programmed by every adult, by your school, by the TV, by everyone you meet, because you haven't a clue. You're all soft out of your mold. You have no idea really what on earth is going on in life? You're just going from one puddle to the next, you know, splashing in puddles, playing with plasticine, doing this, that, and the other. And I think adults find death very difficult to handle. And explaining it to children is, you know, that rips your heart out if you have to sit down with some children and tell them, you know, that their father or somebody has died. You know, it's a hard thing to do. And I think, you know, certainly our parents' generation had a, you know, they had a history of skimming over things. You know, in the video I put up today, I talked about the fact that in the 70s we were around the dinner table, and one of my parents' friends was talking about somebody that wasn't very well, and they go, "Oh, you know, they're not very well." "Oh, really? Oh dear." And she just went, "It's the big C." And everyone went, "Oh," and I just thought, "What's the big C?" I hadn't a clue what they were talking about. So, of course, I didn't ask, "What's the big C?" at the table. I waited till everyone had gone. And then I said to my parents, "What's the big C?" You know, and my mum, you know, told me, you know, "It's cancer, Susan. But, you know, we don't talk about it." Okay. And I was like, "Oh, right. Okay, then." Kind of still really none the wiser at about the age of 8 or something like that I was. But now we talk about it all the time. And I think, you know, I don't know what generation your parents are, Karen, but they will more than likely, you know, be of the generation where you swept things under the carpet and you didn't show your emotions and you didn't really explain things. You know, people came back from the war and they never opened their mouth about it. You know, it was very commonplace, and we now overthink and overchat about everything all the time. And in a way, that's a good thing, but in a way, it makes us all navel gaze and wonder if we're happy enough, and am I really happy? And that in itself can bring unhappiness. So I think part of the issue is to forgive the people that didn't explain death to you. And I'm sure you would explain death to your children or other people that you meet in a way that you would have liked it to have been expressed to you. And so what that does is it means you grow with the next generation. You know, that's how we all kind of evolve, you know. And I've parented my son in, you know, some of the things I hated when I was a child and I didn't think were right, I have not perpetuated with my son, you know, and maybe he'll go on, probably he will, if he has children one day. And, well, I'm not going to do that because I hated it when mum did that. So I think the first thing there is to forgive whoever didn't explain it properly, because you didn't have a choice back then, but you do have a choice now in how you're going to react to it. And the first thing is to change that sentence about the ruination of your life into a positive. I know you've had an awful lot of loss, and I'm not saying it hasn't been an awful ride for you, but life is a wonderful thing. And those people that have lost their lives probably would be wishing for just another second, just another breath, just another week, you know, and you've got a life. So I don't know if any of that's of any help at all. And I have no idea about all the comments because I've kept my cursor still. I've been looking at your comment, Karen, but I really do hope that that helps. Right, Patricia. Hi, Patricia, darling. My brother passed away years back, and there were words I said to him that I still have not forgiven myself. But I did apologize to him, and sometimes I think about it. That's cool. Self-forgiveness is something that I'm going to talk about tonight, actually. Core's got some excellent advice. No, you haven't brought the mood down, because, you know, we all have these issues. We all have these demons. And very often they just rattle around in our own head, chipping bits of our own paint off. You know, sometimes we have to open the window and we have to let it fly out. and get some fresh air into our heads, you know. And it's only by talking about things and sharing experiences that everybody grows and heals together. I really do think that. And, you know, everybody on here will have had somebody that they've lost. You know, everybody, you know, all of us have lost our grandparents, pretty much, I should imagine, you know. So we've all lost somebody in our lives, or a pet or something, you know. I didn't mean to kind of put pets with humans, but, you know, we've all suffered a loss that's really, you know, felled us at the time, and has, you know, some of those things do stay with us. No apologies. Excellent. We're all about support, no matter what about. Absolutely. Look, see everybody saying lovely things. Wayne. Where's Wayne? Hi, Wayne. The cub you feed is the one that you grow. You can choose to feed your despair, or as Sue suggests, you can change your internal dialogue. Absolutely. Don't feed fear. Don't feed worry. Don't feed despair. It leads down that black hole. It's where it leads. And with that will go your health. It will go all the joy, the light behind your eyes will go. Do not flirt with those things. Instead, feed happiness, feed love, feed self-love, self-appreciation, feed the good things, you know. Do something for someone else if you can't do something for yourself. It's a great distraction when you're not feeling very happy with yourself, you know. Elena's talking about having the best talk ever. She was gone at 6 a.m. the next day. Oh, bless you. Great, that good talk, eh? I'm really pleased, Karen, that that's been a help to you. And as I said, message me if you're having a sticking point. Lots of people message me when they're having a, you know, like a ooh moment. Okay. And one of our lovelies even thinks, what would you do when she's having a bad moment? Which I'm just like, oh, it's such a, you know, such an honor for me. Two very wise calves. Always wanted to learn more. Yeah, Wayne, we are all programmed for negative things. It's our chimp. It's our primal part of our brain, which is always looking for danger, looking for fear, looking for embarrassment, recalling anything that might have gone wrong and overlaying it with the present situation to save ourselves. We need that bit of our brain, but that's the chimp that you need to control. You need to have control over it, okay? And that's what the book, The Chimp Paradox by Professor Steve Peters is all about. It's an incredible book. I'm going to, in fact, I sent a copy to somebody yesterday. You know who you are. Let me see if I can find the cover of it to show you. It's absolutely, hands down, the book I recommend more than any other book. There was a sentence in that book that completely explained something, and I let go of something that I had been chewing a wasp about for over a year. It was so damaging and destructive to the household, to me. You know, I told my friends about it. I kept on and on and on and on and on and on about it in my head. You know, I managed to link everything back to that. You know, just absolute nonsense. Just went on and on. And that book really sorted it out for me. I'm just going to make sure the volume isn't on, doesn't start reading it out loud. Oh, it's downloading it. Why isn't it on this device? I don't know, because I got a new phone, that's why. I'll show you the picture of it in a minute. when it's finished downloading. All our brains need a spring clean. And I guess that's what the good thing about spring is, because, you know, we do start, come on. Right. Okay. There it is. That's the book. Okay. So if anyone, I can send a free copy of this book to anyone on Audible if you have not received a free book on Audible before. And that is Amazon's Talking Books. I always read my books when I'm driving or having a shower or doing, you know, cooking when I'm not doing a video for you guys. So excellent book. It will compartmentalize your brain and you will understand yourself better than you ever have before. And the great thing is you'll understand other people better than you have ever before. Yeah, these are our secrets, Chrissy, and they keep you sick. You're quite right. They plague you. They have you in chains. Oh, gosh, I've just whizzed past too much. Maybe they're all together again. Digging the yard. Nana was digging the yard. How sweet. Isn't that amazing how our brain works? Yeah, life is about growing. And I think the day you stop growing and learning new things is the day you kind of pack it in for yourself. And that is the beginning of the slippery slide down to kind of, you know, I can't imagine not wanting to do new things and not wanting to learn new stuff. It's literally what fires me up every day. Lindsay, I'm taking it out on my partner. Bless you, sweetheart. It's what we do. It's your chimp that's taking it out on your partner because you don't know how to deal with it. You don't know how to, you know, you have to really face these things. And sometimes it's the process of facing it seems so painful that, you know, so scary to do. And some of these things are really deeply buried that it's kind of almost feels better to just keep hammering nails into your head and firing them at everybody else. But, you know, think about that. Hammering nails into your head and firing them at everyone else for the next 10 years, or taking a deep breath and facing that monster and eviscerating it once and for all and making your peace with it. It is painful, but when you've done it, you can breathe again and without nails in your head. And then you can be closer with all the people around you because you're not hurting so much. Elena, Passover and with loved ones are very spiritual for me. I had 2 friends due on my birthday. Cora and Elena are chatting. Lindsay, are you in England? That's what I call my grandparents are more like my parents. Yeah, you're very close to your grandparents, aren't you, Elena? Smiling at Cora's comment there about honoured that they chose your birthday. It was me. I know it was you, sweetheart. Snow White, you have the book. Have you read it yet, babes? Have you read it yet, Snow? Oh, gosh, the comments are just whizzed up again. Hang on a second. We've been estranged for years, but we've been rebuilding our relationship. That's a bittersweet sweetness there, isn't it? And I bet you wish that you'd made peace sooner. But you know what? You might never have made peace. So be thankful for what you did and what you know would have happened had he not died. You know, be grateful for the things that we have. Negative to positive. Yeah, listen to that book again. It's so good because, you know, there's so much in that book. You do think you've absorbed every single word. I always think, oh yeah, I know everything now. And then I listen, then, you know, the book will get stuck between devices and I'll think, Oh, right, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, oh, I haven't heard this. And then I go back again and back again. And I go, oh, hang on a minute. Oh, I'm 2 chapters past this. So, it doesn't all go in. And there's so much information in that book. It's an amazing book. Better come get me. Elena, you're too cute. Yes, but I know you have a very negative mum, Elena, but you handle that really well. That's on her. She wants to be negative and miserable, then it's on her, and you don't let any of that, touch you, and that's the way to be when you're around negative people. It'll be like who you love deeply. Hi, Leonore, sweetheart. How are you doing? Mwah. Kiss to you too. Thanks for joining. Elena, my dad did give me a great gift. When he died, he came back and told me he didn't want to come back because it was too beautiful and so at peace. But he did. I told him grandpa and grandma. Right now, I don't feel anything except guilt because I haven't grieved Nana in the same way I did Granddad. Oh, Lindsay, don't feel guilt. Guilt is incredibly damaging to you, and your Nana wouldn't want you to damage yourself. What grandparent would want to see their grandkid damage themselves? And you had a different relationship with your granddad than you did with your granny, your Nana, because they're different people. And you would have been a different age when your Nana died than when your granddad died. You would have been a different stage in your life. You will have had different experiences in your life. You might just have learned to handle grief better than when your granddad died. There'll be lots of reasons for it. Search for the lesson that you're supposed to be learning here, rather than opening your arms to a ton of guilt that is going to do nothing for you whatsoever. You can't change any of it. So don't be guilty. Don't feel guilty. It's a very, very dangerous and destructive emotion. Elena, you're cracking me up. You can hand Lindsay sent him back. We can wallow in grief or cherish and honor their memories. Yeah, it is a choice. But I think when you're overwhelmed by grief, it's like you can't see. It's like you've been put in a dark box. You can't see where to go anymore. And we can become very introspective about it. And I think, you all know that my lovely neighbour Noreen passed away in November, and she was a great friend of mine, and we literally laughed our socks off on a pretty much daily basis for 14 years. And, she was 98. She had a good long life, born, lived and died in the same house her whole 98 years of life. And she giggled about everything. She literally, was amazing. And I chose, I've still got her funeral card up in here. There's a picture of, in fact, we've just got one of them out. We had 3 of them out, the one that each Finian, Wink and I had, but we've put the other 2 away for safekeeping. We've got one out because I kind of remember her and I was chatting to her while I was putting the bins out. And that was another thing that I was like, oh, I'm going to put the bins out before I do my live. I kind of chat to her in my head, and I always say, hello, Noreen, every time I drive past the cemetery. And Wink does the same thing. And I said to Wink, do you think she can hear us? And Wink said, no, of course not. I said, well, why do we do it then? And he said, we do it because Noreen would have loved the idea that we did that every time we went past. She would have just been tickled pink by that. She really would. So that's why we do it, And so I choose to think of all the good things, and I don't think about what a shame it is that she's not there anymore and that the house is quiet and empty next door, and that the phone won't ring with her asking if I can help her get the lid off something, or if I can reach something, or can I push the front door shut for her, or, you know, put her bin up the right way, or all the little things that I used to do for her all the time. You know, so that's a very good point, Laurie. But it's very easy to say and sometimes very difficult to do. But it is something that we must do if we're to carry on living our best lives, which all our dear departed want for us. They don't want us just crippled by grief for 10 years. You know, they want us to, you know, thrive. Snow, someone was reading 3 books at once. I need to, oh, you were reading, I need to finish it. I probably start it over. And yeah, you can easily, I think it's about, how long is the book on Audible? Let's have a little look. Speed. It's 9 hours and 45 minutes. So, you know, and that's if you have it on normal speed. I would listen to it on normal speed. It's read by the author. I always like books that are read by the author, because, you know, it comes from their heart. It's not, they've not got some actor reading it for them. It's, you know, the person that wrote the words and, you know, created the book that's reading it. Oh gosh, it's flicked up again. Ooh. Oh gosh, it's whizzed right up. It's whizzed right. I didn't even touch it. And it went whoop. So hang on a sec. We all have choices. Reading the book. Right. Okay. Here I am. Found it again. Lena. Sorry. Then you realise that all your grandparents and dad was gone, and you were left with your mum. You are funny. God has a sense of humour. Chrissy, I have 6 book credits on Audible that I'll bet I can gift to those of you who can't afford it. We should all read as a group. Yeah, that would be a really good idea, Chrissy. I don't know how you can gift credits. Google it, babes. You're good at this stuff. Google it. I've got about the same amount of credits, because I've actually, this whole process of being on YouTube all the time, I've actually stopped reading books, and I've rectified that tonight. I'm reading, I can't remember it. It's by the woman that wrote Eat, Pray, Love. What's it called? There are some amazing things in there. The Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond something or other. Beyond Creative Living Beyond Fear. Elizabeth Gilbert, Big Magic. My sister recommended it to me. And that's the book I've kind of been reading over the last few weeks, or listening to over the last few weeks. You don't know how to process it. It's really, really hard processing guilt and death and grief and negative things. I think you'd really do well to read the book. Lindsay, read the book, start there. Start with that book and see where you find yourself, is my advice to you. I don't know, ebook format, probably, I don't know, Wayne. It's definitely available in paperback, and it's available on Kindle. So that's the closest thing to an ebook, isn't it? You could download it to your Kindle app. You've used up your Audible, your freebie from Audible. Okay. I don't know how much the book is, but you could definitely get it on Kindle, which would probably be the cheapest format. Audible's a bit more expensive. Or why don't you look for a secondhand copy of it on eBay or Amazon? They always have, you know, used copies of books. People read books and then they get rid of them, don't they? Try that, sweetheart. Yeah, The Chimp Paradox by Professor Steve Peters. Changed my life. That was the most a book has changed my life, that book. Elena, you're just one chuckle after the other, aren't you? You do make me laugh. Very well. I'm in Sao Tome Islands, an island in Africa that used to be Portuguese. Wow, what an exotic location. Yeah, there you go, Lindsay. Just look at any 17-year-old and any 39-year-old side by side. They're going to handle grief differently, even if it's the same person. Look, how many there's no adult years of experience in a 17-year-old. You know, they're not even grown-ups yet. You know, pretty much nearly grown-ups, but not grown-ups. You know, and 39, well, in my experience being 39, you think you kind of know it all, although I thought I knew it all when I was 11. I've always thought I knew it all. And each year I look back and go, oh, you didn't know you were born then, Susan. But I think I'm only really now coming into my own in my 50s. You know, and I see 39-year-olds stressing about things and getting in a flap about things and getting all upset by someone's comment and chewing a wasp about it for months and falling out with this person and criticizing and judging that person. And it's just, well, I was just like that. I was just like that when I was that age. You know, I don't know how old you are now, Lindsay. But, you know, 17 and 39 is a world of difference. And your life will probably have been full of commitments when you were 39, whereas you wouldn't have had a care in the world at 17, you know. So you're bound to have, you know, grieved in a different way. And there's no right and wrong way for grief. So don't compare the two experiences, is my advice. And, you know, don't feel guilty about it. Just don't feel guilty about it. Tell yourself, I do not feel guilty about the different ways I chose to grieve my grandparents. And say that to yourself several times a day. Say it to yourself in the mirror. It doesn't matter if you don't believe it, because that bit of your brain that stores everything that's ever happened to you doesn't know whether you're telling it the truth or not. And guess who rushes to that bit of your brain to find information to panic about? Your chimp part of your brain. So if it finds a load of sentences in your brain, like, you know, I do not feel guilty about the difference in the way I grieved the death of my grandparents, it's going to go, oh, right, okay, apparently we're not guilty. All right then, la, let me go and eat some more bananas. And that's a way of pacifying your chimp, because it's your chimp that's doing all of this. It's absolutely your chimp out of its box about this. I promise you. That's why the book is so brilliant. Oh, you're a happy baby. I have no idea if I was a happy baby or not. No idea whatsoever. Oh, I never cried though, apparently. Maybe I was happy. I don't know if I was laughing, but I wasn't a moany baby. Oh no, I had colic. I had colic for the first 6 weeks of my life, so I think I held my head off. Lynn, my mother died 2 months ago and I cherish her memories every day. My mother was almost 90. Bless, sweetheart. I'm so sorry for your loss. And I'm really pleased to hear that you're cherishing the memories of her and taking, you know, all the lovely things about her and carrying that with you every day. That's a very healthy way to think about it. Grief is a journey. We learn to adapt to our new normal. When someone says time will heal your grief, it's not true. Time only exists in the before and the after. Grief is with you for life. Yeah, I think you're right there. And I think that's something that Dr. Gilmore mentions. you know, there's always going to be that sadness and that, you know, oh, I'd love to just go for a walk with that person today, or, you know, I often think, you know, oh, I'd probably ring my mum now for a chat. My mum hasn't actually passed away, but she's, you know, in the late stages of early onset Alzheimer's, so she doesn't even know what her left finger is. So she can't talk anymore. She's gone. She just is a body. Yeah, Leonore, I bet she is resting with your father. That's fantastic. That's a very peaceful way of thinking about it for yourself. But you're right, Laurie. Grief doesn't just end, but your being crippled by it does come to an end, because, you know, life needs to go on. And I know when any one of us here, you know, die, the last thing that we would want is the people that we love to have their lives trashed by it. Would we want that? Oh my goodness, not for a millisecond. You know, that would be something, if we thought that would happen, it would be something that we would be so frightened of right here and now. So just put the boot on the other foot and think about it from that point of view. It doesn't need to trash your life, you know, but, you know, we do heal in different ways, and it does move further away from the cataclysmic event of finding out about the death of somebody that's very close to us. Yeah, I bet the ways become further apart. Absolutely. And sometimes something will trigger. Sometimes I think when there's something bothering you and you're sad about something, I think we think about more sad things, and sometimes the death of someone from a very long time ago will have you absolutely bawling your eyes out. But it's almost like the pressure valve to release everything else that's going on that we're not even aware of. I remember when my auntie died. She was my granny's sister and lived, so great aunt, I suppose, lived next door to Granny. She died 10 years after Granny, and I went along to her funeral, but I'd never visited my granny's grave because she had died while I was on holiday with my father in Mallorca over New Year, and Granny was buried before we were due to come back. I didn't have a choice about it. I was just not there, and there was no flying me home for it. So 10 years later, I'm, you know, at my great aunt's funeral, and then we go to the burial, and, you know, I was with Mum, and it was like, where's Granny's grave, Mum? And she said, oh, I think it's over here, you know, and she took me to it, and I, from absolutely nowhere, I just opened my mouth and I howled like a banshee for about half an hour. I literally fell to pieces. Just howled and screamed and cried and yelled. I didn't even go to the grave of my great aunt. By the time I got myself together, it was finished. You know, the burial was finished. So I would never in a million years have figured that would have happened. But I think there must have been lots and lots and lots and lots buried under layers and layers. And that was just a trigger for it all to come flying out. You know, I think my poor brother, because, oh, hang on, I was 18, 28. He would have been 80. He would have been about 14. I think he probably never seen a grown-up yell their head off like that. Poor chap. Yeah, you're right, Debs. There's no time limit. And everyone grieves in different ways. The thing is not to suppress it and hide it and bury it, because it will come up and bite your backside at some point. That is for sure. And I think that's what Dr. Dr. Gilmore was talking about. And if it's buried very deep down, it will make you sick. It can make you, grief manifests itself in the body in illness, and you'll just go from one illness to another illness to another illness. Yeah, she's a long way away. Yeah, I can imagine that, because the numbness is a way that you protect yourself from falling apart, because you can't afford to fall apart and you don't want anyone to see you fall apart. So we numb ourselves so that we kind of don't feel it, and that's suppressing emotions. And when you do that, you kind of numb out other bits of your life too that you do want to feel, and you do want to, feel everything from. Laurie, can you message me? Okay, Debs is asking for messages. Another thing that we say when the unexplainable happens is that it is a cosmic chuckle. Really? I've never heard that expression before. A cosmic chuckle. My mind is boggling. I still have problems with the death of my twin sister that passed away at 2.5 years old. Oh, sweetheart, that's sad. That's sad. I'm sure it's because there was another you. And I think you mourn the fact that you didn't have that. Twins have a special bond, and you had that, but you weren't old enough to actually realise it, and probably not old enough to remember her. So you're mourning the loss of what could be, what could have been, and what it might have been like. And on your birthday, or, my sister would have been this age. I can imagine that, Seeker. Oh, hang on a sec, I've lost it now. Hi, Robin, darling. I didn't know you were there, but you've had to dash. So, ciao, baby. Hi, Karen. How you doing? Hi, Mary, sweetheart. Only stopping in for a bit. I think it's whizzed down, hasn't it? Sue, that about the bananas made me laugh. Good. Life is for laughing, It is for laughing. Oh, my goodness me, Seeker. Oh, no wonder. No wonder, darling. No wonder. Wayne, check your library. Oh, yeah, libraries. You still have libraries there in the States? Yeah, Robin, you're right. I know you've gone. I'm going back up now because I think I'm a little whizzed in at the end. Yeah, it's a changing. Grief is a changing animal. Oh, right. Okay. Actual print books are problematic. Yeah, check Amazon. Just popping in and out. Wanted to say hello. Oh, that's Robin. Sorry. I learned the exact same thing about books. I adore the library. Yes, we do replay in our mind. We're so hard on ourselves, especially as a child. Oh, we are so hard on yourself. Still 39, Lindsay. That is cool. You still have loads of growing and developing to do. Absolutely. You still do. Read the book, sweetheart. Chris, if you don't mind me saying, maybe you were going at it too strong. I was worried about you. Oh, hang on a second. I must have missed loads of comments. Right, I am so sorry. It's whizzed and I've got completely lost with the comments. So it's probably very boring listening to me trying to find them. Cosmic Chuckle. Has anyone done any backsliding being vegan? I know we start strong at first and sometimes later get frustrated and backslide. My health has been so poor lately, I became angry at the lifestyle. Bless you, sweetheart. Lenore, yes, Madge, it's not so far. It's 5 hours from Portugal. Days I get a check. Laurie, grief never goes away, but it does fade down as in time we go on. We build scar tissue around the grief. Yeah, but we don't want to build scar tissue around it before we've dealt with the grief, because that can be a little ticking time bomb. But it's a good analogy, Wayne. Ah, Chrissy, you did work very hard for your results. Lindsay, it's gone out the window since Nana passed. Yeah, I think what happens when a calamity happens is we go back to old pattern behavior, because this is new behavior. Although we've been doing it for a few months, it's still new behavior, and that's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. We need to forgive ourselves for these things. I've backslid 25 pounds and almost would have undone all my hard work until Sue gave me some great advice. Bless you, sweetheart. Bless you. Nobody's going overboard here, that's for sure. It is hard to do it sometimes. I ate a load of meat in Texas. I hadn't eaten meat for ages. I don't know what I was doing. That was my FOMO, fear of missing out. Yeah, just totally. Oh, I've never had because Jack talked about, Wink was like, I'm going to have loads of meat. And then the DW was like, yes, I've got someone to eat meat with. Sue can eat vegetables with Jack, and Wink and I can eat meat. She was really looking forward to have someone to eat meat with. And then Jack was going, oh yeah, Wink, you'll need to try this and you'll need to try that, and all you do good, Texas barbecue. There's nothing like it. And then of course there's this, that, and the other. And I was like, out came my little chimp and missing out, and it was just like, well, I can't not ever have a barbecue and the great Texas barbecue, and I have to experience everything. I'm just insatiable. And I did that as well, and there's me, a great meeting of minds, Jack and I with our veganism and everything. And every single meal, I ate some meat. Oh, goodness me. Or some, just like every single meal. He must have thought I was a right old fraud. But, he didn't say anything, and then he didn't chastise me or tease me or wink at me or anything. He said, no, you try that. You go, fill your boots. He was absolutely fine about it. Sue is bloody awesome. Oh, thank you, babes. Yeah, we're all awesome. Yes, I am. Chrissy's ready to hit the stop button and take back your life. Absolutely. Chrissy, bless her little heart, has got wet pleurisy, pneumonia, and has cracked her 10th rib and is in a lot of pain. And I know it's exhausting. Having had pleurisy, I know how exhausting it is. So I know everybody will wish you well, and there'll be loads of positive healing vibes coming your way tonight, and from all of those that will watch this on the rewatch, on the replay. Sometimes in grief is also a feeling of guilt. Why did we live and they didn't? Grief becomes a part of who you are. Grief isn't bad. It's part of the human journey. It is part of the human journey, but I don't think grief is supposed to destroy people, because then that's a living, breathing life that didn't reach its potential. I don't know. I'm not a grief counsellor. I have to just point this out right now. I just say, you know, what I think, really. No, it isn't a bad thing. Sometimes it can be the making of you. You know, you have life and that person doesn't. So go live a life on their behalf as well. You know, have a double whammy at it, you know, to celebrate that they were there and that you ever got to meet that person. Yeah, Chrissy, you can so do it. You are such an inspiration to me, Chrissy. I never forget you for a second. You were the first lovely that came on and, well, you know, came up with some results and told your story. It was fascinating. And, you know, you had so many people behind you all the way. And that's fine, you know. I'm a stone heavier than I was before I got my lump. My lump, my cyst on my back. But that's fine, you know. I'm going to get it sorted. A stone, 14 pounds, just before you all start going insane trying to wonder what I'm talking about. 14 pounds, probably more than 14 pounds, actually. Probably closer to what you've put back on, actually, Chrissy. So don't mind about it. Excellent. Revisit that book. Yes, Laura, I've worked through a lot of it, but the situation surrounding the death is what I'm having a hard time getting through now. I can imagine, darling, because the things that we don't know hold more fear for us than the things that we know as fact. And you're too young to have any perspective on it yourself at the time. And I won't need to plug it in. You like hard copy books. I do like hard copy books too, and I know Wink does, but I would never sit down and read one because in my head I've got too much to do. But I can do the housework, listen to a book. I don't muck my own pigs out listening to books because I chat to them. But when I used to muck 50 pigs out every day, honestly, I got through so many books when I was doing that job. So that's why I prefer the Audible book, because it means I actually gain knowledge, gain information, and actually inwardly digest books rather than I'm just not. I couldn't just sit down, you know, still in a day and, you know, read for an hour. I'd be just like, oh, of course I was reading all day today and I haven't got anything to, you know, my head doesn't work that way. But I know it is nice to have some of the books I listen to, I wish, because I'm a visual learner, funnily enough, visual learner, read all my books audibly. So that's a bit of a bit idioty of me. But anyway, some of the books I wish that I could actually look at it written down, because I'm never in a position to take notes when I'm listening to my book anyway, because I'm always doing something that I don't have to think about doing whilst I'm, you know, listening. Snow saying maybe Chrissy was going at it too strong and she was worried about you. Not to be upset. You are a gorgeous, lovely, as indeed she is. Yeah, you'll get there. You know, there's going to be a time in the not too distant future when you won't have pleurisy and you won't have pneumonia and you will be feeling a lot better. Right. Then I've just found the Hello Robin and I know she's gone. Then I read all these backwards about books. Visually handicapped, Desmos, Robin, grief never ends. We live with it differently. Wayne, check your library. Bananas made me laugh. Cora, it's horrible. I don't want to have people get very upset. I will say 11, 12 years ago, it was reported as a homicide. Think of me, drive it nuts. Oh, you know, I get my mum's knickers in a twist when I tell her I don't care what others think of me. It drives her nuts. When my dad was alive, I had them both on my life insurance. Goodness me. Yeah, you have to, not care what other people think. Mary, I don't know if you're still here, but I've got back to this. Must be gentle with yourselves one day at a time. Oh, you're just so lovely to each other. 50. My dad, 50.1%. I'm 40. Just because I knew it would bother her that I gave her X more. Do something like that. Yeah, lots of teasing going on in your family, babes. Oh, Debs, that's fantastic. Grief never ends, but it changes. It's a passage, not a place to stay. Grief is not a sign of weakness, nor a lack of faith. It is the price of love. Yes, indeed. It is the price of love. That's quite a beautiful way of seeing it. I love that. That's amazing. That's I really like that, Debs. Right on, Snow. I love the sound of the plastic covering crinkle. What? I've obviously missed something by Snow there. I'm not going to go back and look for it because that's how I got completely lost before. And it's right on, Snow. Yes, Debs is so true. Oh no, it's just done it again. Oh, I don't know why it does that. It's natural to fear it. Oh, hang on. I've just missed it. Yes, we have yes, you have libraries here. Well, all of ours are closing down because people don't use them, and they're run by retired people who can't live on their pensions and volunteers and stuff. But they're open such small hours, and they never have the book you want. And actually, never is not the right word there. It's been many years since I went to the library. And so ours are all closing down and have been for, the last 10 years or more. Elena, it's terrific you're open to whatever comes along. I know there is another place we go. Yeah, I love your attitude, Elena. You're always laughing. Yes. Chrissy, quite right. The lovely Maureen Allen died a couple of weeks ago, one of our lovelies, unexpectedly to us, a lovely, lovely lady. eBay has the book for $4.50. Big magic. Yeah, I bet it does. I downloaded mine with a credit. So none of my books are costing me anything, except actually I'm paying £7.50 a month. So I suppose they're costing me £7.50 a month. But hey ho, a lot of the books are like £38 to download, and some of the books that I download are quite expensive because they're really popular. And I get them for free, or £7.50 a month. For 0 to 3.5 in a year in the middle school. And yeah, yes, Chrissy, that was sad. It's natural to fear it. I'm getting better about accepting it since going back to church. I decided to go out of the blue, but on the actual day decided not. I felt a few pushes on my back and stood. Yeah, we all hope you get better, Chrissy. Or you get better soon. We know you're going to get better, darling. Up. I got pushed again. No one was there, and it was my nana watching out for my spiritual side. Bless you. Right, there's lots of positivity and speed. I must be miles behind. So sorry. Yeah, I love the elderly as well. I find they are so wise. So wise. Wink has always loved elderly people since he was a teen. Not that I didn't love them, but I didn't really know any. Yeah, fear of the unknown is absolutely paralyzing. And the thing is, our brain makes up things that are much worse than things that are actually going to come to pass anyway. Um, you know, worrying, fearing stuff is just like it's fear is completely manufactured in our own heads by our chimp. And the only real place for fear is if you're incredibly close to the edge of a cliff and you hadn't noticed. The chimp will jump up and down and you'll be very fearful and you will move away from that danger, away from that fire, away from that, impending, accident or slipping off something or not falling. That's what that's the place for fear to save our lives. It's not for the fear of the unknown and what may or may not happening and what if this awful thing happens. The thing is, we're so imaginative and wired for negativity that we're more often than not going to come up with something much worse than would ever happen. And then we throw all our energy into it, getting stressed and worried about it, giving ourselves migraines and upset stomachs and catching colds and diseases and stuff. No, listen to the book, Lindsay. Listen. Oh gosh, it's just whizzed up again. I have hundreds of books. Do the packages have anything interesting to say? Pigs. Chrissy, you have bunches of energy coming from you without end from us. Yeah, you do. Cool, Deborah. She's got a religion app so that she can listen to the Bible. Fabulous. And you can take that around as you're going about life. I had my hair done on Monday, Chrissy. Off subject. And as you can see, I haven't washed it since. It's now standing up and doing all kinds of things on its own, which, I would have wished for when I was young and couldn't do anything with my hair and there were no products like wax and stuff. Yeah, it is. I had my roots done. Only the roots here, not the roots here. They're still dark. I had a half job, whatever it's called, just to brighten it up. And I had some green and blue and yellow. And the next time I do anything with it, I'm going to be using the blue hair colours that you sent me, Chrissy. They're on my windowsill. But I didn't want to do them when I had a hair appointment booked because, I didn't want to mess up whatever she was going to be doing with this. Oh, Laurie's already answered that. Thank you, Deborah. I love that. Yeah, steal it as your own, babes. Or just use it. Pay it forward. Yes, Mad, you're quite right. I've been completely steered off the topic of the title of this post. Deborah, my daughter was raped. What? Oh my goodness me, Deborah. I'm so sorry for you. That is awful. Oh, oh my goodness me. Oh gosh. Awful, awful, awful. Oh, that's fantastic. She's got good friends around her. Goodness me, that is awful. So sorry for you, Deb, babes. Oh, Chrissy, I'm sorry to hear that. Goodness me. I'm so sorry. That is shocking. Elena, I don't think I've come across anyone who loves their city as much as you love your city, the fabulous Seattle. It seems that you've got everything all sorted out over there. I think you might need to give the world a lesson. Come over here and give the UK a lesson. That's amazing that you do. It's just kind of died out here. You know, people just, I mean, so many people just don't even read anymore. Many grown-ups don't even read a book in a year, with the exception of, you know, a romantic novel on the beach once a year when they're on holiday. You know, most adults don't read after they leave college. It's just terrible. There's so much in life to learn. I think, yeah, Elena's sister, Deborah, I hope she gets therapy even if she was knocked out. Yeah, it will still be traumatic for her. She'll go through the absolutely furious, bitter, angry stage. Laurie, I'm a registered recreational therapist, leisure counselling, and have dealt with grief on a professional level as well as dealing with it on a personal level in my own work. In my work, I would sit with the dying. Oh, bless you, sweetheart. I'm sure you've got some great advice for some of the lovelies on here. Oh, Deborah, I bet you did cry, sweetheart. I'm so sorry for you. That's just, you know, that's like the worst thing you can imagine happening to your daughter. Oh, Chrissy. Yeah, it is good she has no recollection. Of course, she'll paint demons in her head of what she doesn't know, or maybe not. It took you 20 years to take your power back from my assaulter. He had me fear-stricken and afraid to be touched by a man for years. Babes, I'm so sorry for you. I'm so glad you got past it, though. We are really strong, tough, resilient individuals. Oh, gosh, I just flipped it. It's just whizzed up again now. You know, we're tougher than we think we are. You know, just think of every single awful thing that's happened, you know, from wetting your pants in class when you were 5 and being mortified with embarrassment or whatever, to, you know, quite traumatic things that have happened in your life, like some of the things that have been mentioned here. We're all still here. We're all, you know, we got past so many things, and we'll get past things that come in the future as well. It just doesn't seem like it at the time. Ah, oh, babes, Deborah. Oh my goodness me! If it took you 40 years, I can just imagine how you're feeling now. Well, I can't, but I kind of can. I don't purport to be in your situation, but I can imagine the correlation you're drawing between the two events, sweetheart. Hello, Leanne, sweetie pie. How are you? Filled all the bubble wrap off our windows. Winter is officially gone in our home. Yes! Yip, yip. Spring, the time for new beginnings, has occurred. I'm really hoping I can do some planting this week as well, Leanne. Yeah. It can be an evil world, that is sure. There is beauty in that world too. But there's a statistic, it seems really ridiculous, but it's 87.5%, don't forget the half, percent negative. That's what our world is. 87.5% negative. So we're wired to be negative, and we're getting thrown everything that's being thrown at us from a daily basis, whether it be from the media or from walking down the street or things that happen or whatever in our lives. 87.5% of it is negative, and we're just wired to be negative. So it is a really hard thing, to break out of that pattern of doom and gloom and search for the lights everywhere, and the happiness that there is everywhere. And I know we're all good at looking for happy things and being happy, because we've largely been a very happy group here, and we've all spurred each other on. And I know that loads of you are transformed, if the messages I receive are anything to go by, just from having this community of people, just having somewhere to go, having someone to bounce things off, talking about stuff. Blue, lots of support today. Oh, I'm so pleased that you got lots of support, sweetheart. I'm so glad that you did. You are saying there are evil people, but more are good. I think most people want to be good. But there are some terrible people around. Oh, that's nice. You had your friends around you. You are surrounded by friends. I know you are, because all your posts are usually like all cheery. I wondered where the smile on your face was in your picture on Facebook today, actually. But you looked fabulous anyway. I have to say, you look very slim, darling. You can't imagine life without books. I know. Where would we be? We'd still be clubbing about in a cave with a pickaxe. Chrissy's got revamped libraries. Oh, that's really good. I'm pretty sure the UK hasn't thought of that. Well, they're really cutting local services all the time because we're going through austere measures. Like forever, it seems. Anyway, I don't like to think about those. I just carry on with my life. The government will do what it will. Hi, Bonnie, darling. How are you doing? Hope you had a good day at work. Oh, look, the sun is out. You've got a nice day in Missouri. That's really good. You need some nice warm air on your lungs. Oh, I am sorry that you're getting a lot of negative input from the people in your ministry, groaning about stuff that's going on in the world. You see, this is why I don't watch the news, because the news is all doom, gloom, disaster, killings, stabbings, shootings, austere measures, war, hatred, calamity. Shall I list any more awful, negative words? That's all the news is. I just don't listen to it. I'd have been insane by now if I hadn't stopped about 4 years ago, And, I hope you're not surrounded by negative people, Deborah, because groaning about world conditions is just like, it just makes everyone feel pants, doesn't it? Going somewhere where you're surrounded by people who are just moaning by everything that's going on in the world. It's just like, Oh, what about that beautiful butterfly that just fluttered by? What about that? What about the sunshine? What about the fact that we all woke up this morning and got up and are alive? What about, all the beautiful things that happen? That's what we need to focus on and build on that. Sorry, I get on my little hobby horse when people are negative. When people actually spending precious moments of their lives moaning about something they can't change and bringing everyone else down with it. I hope, that you remain around positive people, especially now, Deborah. Ah, Chrissy, look at you helping each other. There is a lot of hate in the world. Kyla is my daughter. Love my phone, just putting in what it wants. Oh, right. Okay. Right. Obviously, Siri's getting busy, not Kyle. Okay. Ever since Trump got into office, up to now, I've noticed our world has become angrier. He just does what he wants, and I'm tired of all this little boys in the schoolyard attitude. Just don't listen to it, Leanne. It's just, just politics. It's just their posturing. Just don't listen to it. Makes no difference, really. Just winds you up, politics. I don't do it. Not anymore. Chrissy, new statistics as of 2019, nearly 8% of the USA is now vegan. That's up another 2%. I thought somebody posted the statistic of this was before Christmas, wasn't it? This is before Christmas. The year before it was 1%, wasn't it? And it grew to 6%. And now already this year it's going to 8%. That's a massive population you got. That's loads of people. That's fantastic. Yes! Think how healthy people are going to become. Imagine if the world was filled full of healthy people that were just going for life. Imagine what that environment would be like. Hi, Wendy, sweetheart. Lindsay, your sis was one of the best things to ever happen to me. Thank you, babes. I must be so far down the comments because I said that ages ago. You just don't feel like I'm back in the 60s again. Right on, Leanne. Okay, more Trumpy Trumps. Ah, you found some of the food you were allergic to. I bet it was some of those processed things that we all were eating. Madge, hey Lindsay, that could be a headline for Sue when she appears in the newspaper article. Oh, what's that? Hey Lindsay. Yes. Yes, I got you. I got you, Madge. I got there in the end. Trump, Trump, Trump. Just going to Trump past Trump. Don't want to talk about Trump or anyone else that's not in this fabulous group. Oh, hang on. Oh, gosh. I've lost all the comments. Okay. I think you already did call with that orange. Okay. Trump, laughing at Trump. It's a box around town called Free Light. Oh, my friend Paul, the lovely Paul, the broadcaster. He has a little blue, it's called the Little Blue Book House. And Wink actually painted it for him. It's on his wall. And all the neighbours swap books on it. He just puts books in there and people to help themselves and they drop off books. So he started that. Matthew, Mark 13 and Luke 21. Okay. Love being a lovely too. I love being lovely as well. We don't watch the news anymore either. We just watch the local. Otherwise, we have started watching really good DIY shows, family entertainment. I love my new smart TV and the girl. Oh, that's really cool. News also puts out lots of false info. Yeah, that ends up hurting innocent people by passing lies as facts. Yep, absolutely. It's another one of the reasons I don't watch it anymore. I have very deep faith I'm going to be okay. You absolutely are going to be okay, and so's your daughter, sweetheart. I know it. Good. The news will have us all tied in knots. Lindsay doesn't watch the news either. Yeah. Because it's sensationalized. The news sensationalizes everything. Absolutely everything. So, yeah, we're numb to it because we've seen just about every way anything can possibly be destroyed, blow up, with CGI movies. There's we used to be curious, I wonder what a dead body looks like. Oh, not even curious anymore now because we've seen 5 gazillion, in all the films and CGI movies and stuff. And I understand even computer games, not that I play any of them. Yay! Karen got up and she got dressed. Good for you, girl. Fabulous. I didn't get dressed till I had to go to yoga, and I'm now in my pajamas again. Yoga top, pajama bottoms, because my new yoga pants that I opened the other day don't fit. They are way too small. So I don't know what kind of sizing that is. I got a medium. I think they'd fit an 8-year-old. So I've obviously got to get jumbo size if they make them big enough to get up me. I'm not even that big. It's just like, goodness knows. Anyway, they've all got to go back. So I've had to take them off to put them in the washing machine. So I'm back in my pajamas. I'm not going to isolate myself away from family and friends. No, absolutely not. But you could change the negative conversation. You could be that upbeat, cheery, chirpy person that draws people away from moaning. Because when they're moaning themselves, they're shooting themselves in the foot as well. It's just like they're making themselves miserable. And then, then this is what happens, and this is how it spreads. People moan together, and then people leave the gathering of where the moaning happened, and they go back to their home, or they go around and visit another friend or see another friend and go, you know what, I was at church the other day, and everyone was talking about this, and it's so terrible, and so-and-so said this, and I'd never really thought about it like that, and it's really not good, and I don't know what the world's coming to, and da-da-da-da-da. And then those people go off and see other people and say, oh, I was talking to Sue the other day. You know what? She had this conversation. And I hadn't even thought about that. But, she's quite right. Oh, it's just doom and gloom wherever you. Rah, 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 rah. That's how it spreads. So be the one to break it. This is why I kind of moved away from negative people, because I would just bring it all home here, and then I would, it would be like a story I would dine out on. Oh gosh, yeah, oh, you'll never guess what, this person did this, and I don't know what they were, and it, it's like there's never a good news story on the news, is there? There's the fireman that rescued the cat out of the tree, and it takes 3 minutes of news time, and it's the last bit on the news. That's what it used to be like when I was a kid. I have no idea what it's like now, because I literally don't give any of my precious life to listening to the news, not listening. Wendy, Sue, I've yet to practice my one leg balance. Added a fasting day midweek and was successful the past 2 weeks. Yippee! High five, Wendy. That's absolutely fantastic. Well done, you. Start your balance when you clean your teeth tonight. It's as easy as that. As easy as that, darling. That's well done. Well done. I'm going to fast tomorrow. Oh, no, the comments have just whizzed again. Oh, no. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Some shows are just getting us banned. I really wish it was back to the day where we only had 3 major channels. The television has not been off. Sorry, rephrase. On since Wink left. Look. It's not on. Normally it's flickering away in my glasses because Wink puts it on pause and goes upstairs when I'm doing these. And it's just blissful, really. It's just absolutely blissful not having that din going on. Yay, Karen. Yeah, look at all that. Congrats. I'm so glad I moved back home from social care after 6 months in 201. Car chase every day on TV. LA felt soulless. So happy to be back home. Plus I can breathe here. Fabulous, Elena. Yeah, absolutely, Bonnie. Chrissy, my good friend I worked with, was involved in an officer-involved shooting, and the media put it all out as his personal info, including his kids, family, victim. Went and shut up the home. Oh, gosh, how awful. It is a big deal, Karen. It is a big deal. You've made a positive change, and it is really hard to make positive changes because it goes against ingrained habit. And, you know, it takes a lot of effort to make the change. Keeping going isn't such an effort. You know, it's like starting a motorbike. You have to kick start that. And then it ticks over and you just have to twist the handle to go faster. But, you know, when you start, like cycling, not a motorbike, cycling, most of the effort is involved in going from a standing start to getting into motion. Once you're in motion, it's okay. And yeah, there are some hills that you struggle to pedal up. But if you got to the bottom of the hill and stopped pedaling and completely started from scratch, that would be even worse. So it's that first energy, that first decision starts with a decision, always starts with a decision. You know, and it makes, you know, it is a big deal. You've broken the back of it. 2 weeks, you've done fasting. You've even put another fasting in. That's amazing. That's really, really good. Pat yourself on the back. And it is a big deal. These are big wins because the rest of your life and health is going to thank you for this. It is a big, big deal. This is no small feat that we're all doing. And, you know, yes, we do fall off the bandwagon sometimes. And as Mary Beth says, we just get off and run alongside it for a bit before we get back on. And that's okay. We are only human. We are not infallible. Not infallible. Is that a double negative? We are infallible. We are. Sometimes we fail. Maybe I'll just put it like that, you know, and that's okay. That's okay. If we fail and then we never try again, that's not okay. That's not okay. From that, progress doesn't happen. You know, if we fell over when we were kids and grazed our knees once and decided running, jumping and walking is not for me, I'm never getting up again. That'd be ridiculous. We need that childlike curiosity that makes us get up again and again and again and again and again through more and more scuffed knees until we hardly ever fall over again until we get a bit older. So it's a big deal, Karen. Well done. All because of the family. It could have killed his whole family. Why would they put that info out? Yeah, terrible. It's like I literally don't buy into the media thing. I think it's all propaganda. I think we only get told what various other people who are just other human beings. That's all they are, just other human beings, you know, want us to know. That's I often have a discussion with Paul about, because he is a, you know, investigative journalist and reporter and broadcaster and all that business. And I always talk to him because he knows I avidly do not listen to or watch the news or read a newspaper. And he was like, do you not worry about that you don't know what's going on? It's just like, no, no, I don't worry that I don't know what's going on. And if someone thinks I'm an idiot because I don't know this great thing that's happened, it's just like, well, fine. On they go with that opinion. It's not my opinion. You know, I think I'm cool. I'm all right. And my life is happy, much happier. And my family is happy and much happier because I am not shouting at the telly and spewing the bad news over everyone I see with that kind of, oh, have you seen the news? Oh, isn't that awful about you? Let's talk about it. I stopped doing that. That was a habit I got out of. Wink is home on Wednesday. I don't know when. I miss him, so I know you're really missing. Yeah, I miss him, and also I'm glad. Oh God, that sounds awful. I'm going to bed a lot earlier because having been single for 45 years, I like my own company, and I find I have to stay up a few hours after he goes to bed so that I can have time on my own. And so I'm actually kind of like, I'm all done with time on my own and I'm just going to bed like a good girl, you know, much earlier, which is quite funny. And I very rarely get the house to myself because Wink doesn't go, he only goes away until now, once a year for a week. And I tend to go away quite a lot. So he gets the place to himself loads. So I'm doing starfish in the bed. It's great. Ooh, sleeping like that. I've got my meditation on speaker next to me in the bed, and I'm just luxuriating in all the little things that that I can enjoy without him here. So I spoke to him a couple of times on the phone. He sent me a couple of messages, sent me some pictures today. So I kind of, I am missing him, but I'm not kind of like, oh, I'm missing him. You know, I just kind of trundle along, you know, I'm not a person that kind of really misses people. I don't know if that's weird. It's just like we're going to be apart for 8 weeks this year. And the longest we'll have ever been apart is when I go to India for a month. And then I'm coming back and going away for another week. And I'll have been away for a week before that. And then he goes away after we come back from Texas. So we're going to be apart quite a lot. You know, and of course I'll love it when he gets home, and his birthday's coming up as well. So that'll be really good. But I know you guys are missing his little beardy face popping in and going, hello. Lindsay, I feel you can. My biggest achievement today is cooking my dinner. Well done, Lindsay. And that is good. If that's your biggest achievement of the day, fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. I tidied up my lounge yesterday, but only because my parents were coming for dinner. And it's just so lovely in here. No clutter to busy the mind. I can just lay my eyes around the room restfully without going, oh, I need to do something with that. Oh, I should do that. Oh, where am I going to put that? Oh, right. Okay. Well, that just goes through my head just about everywhere. The only room in the house now that needs sorting out is my office, which is like a bomb site. I never go in there, though. I hate being in there. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Deborah took a picture of a little piggy with a glass of wine for me today. I will look for that. I haven't looked at, because I've been at yoga and stuff. I haven't looked at, and the internet, because it's windy, it keeps like saying it's connected, but Facebook just isn't opening, and Messenger just isn't opening, and WhatsApp just isn't opening, and YouTube isn't opening. So I've just kind of like, right, just put that down and go and do something else, Susan. I was too. Yeah, I know you were a police officer, Chrissy. Media passes everything as fact without verifying anything. They cause so much violence. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, don't do it, Chrissy. It's not worth it. Oh, my goodness me. Hang on, I've missed some things here. Geez, no chance of getting anything to... All right, that's about my leggings not fitting. Yeah, I reckon it's a different job. Yes, so I think the pigs would have a laugh if you wore no bottoms. I don't think they'd notice. They were really scared of Wink in his full-on MotoGP motorbike outfit, boots, gloves, and a helmet. They all had such a start, and then they just stood there barking at him, because pigs bark. I bet you didn't know that, but they bark. They barked at him. And I was going, it's all right, it's Wink, it's Wink, it's Wink, because they couldn't even smell him because he just smelt completely different, probably head to foot in leather. And he had to take his helmet and go, it's me, it's Wink, it's me, like this. And they were just like, oh. It was very funny. Yes. I wonder what they would make of it if we ran around the pen naked. Probably nothing, actually. No. Deborah, that's a very valid point. Yes, I'm going to be upbeat, started now. Can't change the past. Absolutely. And I hate gossip too, because there's always an angle on gossip. It's never for the good, is it? It's always to poke at someone and judge someone. And, just not judging anything or anyone in a day makes for such a peaceful day. It really does. You were coming to their side, he. Loved it when we had the Olympics in London. There were actually good things on the news for a change. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Cool, you're right. We are all much stronger than we think we are. We tell ourselves we can't cope, and it's balderdash. It's rubbish. Yeah, that's true. Don't rush and hide those feelings. But I think Deborah might have been talking about all the negative Nancys that are moaning, that are around, her friends and her congregation. And, be the one to flip them out of it. Glass half full, girls. Glass half full attitude. Always look for the positive in anything. There always is one. There always is one. I've been doing that for like 20 years. There's always a positive. Yes, Lindsay, my husband was on duty at the water. It was amazing. Yeah, my mum actually went and did some marshalling at the Olympics. She was absolutely in her element. She applied for it months and months before. Yeah, do be gentle with yourself, Deborah. Just one of the nurses at my old job was a volunteer for the Paralympics. She had a great time. Good. Very proud for the time in the UK. Going through rather than around is healing. Hard but healing. We are only human, so perfection isn't an option. Totally correct. No such thing as perfect. Chrissy, oh my God, I need support. The hubby just told me he brought us home a carton of cigarettes. I wasn't even thinking about it until now. I kind of want to light one and just smell it. Oh, that is a thing. Right. I haven't read to the bottom, but that actually brings me very nicely, that comment, and thank you for that, Chrissy, to the title of my live tonight, which is about ego and doubt, and I can't even remember what it was now. I'm gonna have to look it up. Going back. Look at me having to look it up. Anyway, I do want to look it up because I like to be, you know, this is my little bit of autism here. Oh, where are my videos? Shame, backward steps, untruth. Right, I need to come clean with you guys because on Thursday, I told a lie. I told a lie. And it kept me up all Thursday night. I didn't go to bed till about 6 in the morning. And then I missed my yoga because I slept through my 500 alarms. It seems alarm clocks don't wake me up. I don't know what I'm going to do about it, but I just cannot be woken by an alarm. Anyway, I digress. So I was asked a question on Thursday that I hadn't expected. I was asked if I smoke. Now, if I had been a smoker, which, yes, I said I was. And then I was asked, when did I give up? And I lied because I haven't. I told a partial truth. Just over a year ago, I gave up smoking pot. I used to be a pot smoker for a long time. And I gave that up. So part of my head was telling a truth, but the other part was lying. And it kept me awake because I literally cannot remember the last time I told a lie. And I lied to about 30 of you guys live on YouTube. And it's been watched by I don't know how many people. Doesn't matter. Even if only one person was there, I lied. I found that really difficult because I hadn't been prepared for it. I'm not going to make any excuses for it. I barefaced lied. And I told Wink about it and he said, darling, why didn't you just say, well, that's my last vice as well? And I went, I know, that's what I should have said, but I literally just went, about a year ago, and then tried to shuffle past it. And I actually FaceTimed Debs about it afterwards and just went, oh gosh, I lied tonight. We talked about it. And then the next day, Chrissy actually was the one that asked me when I gave up or if I was a smoker or if I'd ever smoked. And bless her, she messaged me to say that she was sorry that she asked me a question about something that maybe I hadn't wanted to talk about because she could see I was awkward. I was awkward because I was telling a lie. I was telling a lie. So I was very ashamed about this. And I went to bed with a very, very heavy heart, not really knowing. Well, I knew I needed to come clean to you. I don't want to be somebody that's, I pride myself on my honesty, on my transparency, on what you see is what you get with Sue. There's no angles on me. There's nothing hidden except that. And I guess the reason I hide it is because I'm ashamed that I do still smoke. I don't smoke very many, but it's still smoking, 2, 3, 4 a day, roll-ups. Maybe not even that, less since I've started yoga. Wink smokes too. Again, hardly any. In fact, his doctor didn't even put him down as a smoker the last 10 years because he only smokes about 4 or 5 a day, and his doctor said it wouldn't even count as smoking. So we both basically, we've talked non-stop about giving up smoking, and each of us, so I totally know that whole carton of cigarettes thing, because, you know, somewhere in your head you're like, oh, I know I'm going to carry on smoking until those are finished. But the thing is, when those are finished, there'll be others. And we've been saying now for, years, this is the last packet, this, right, we won't buy any more, right, okay. And one of us always caves, and the other one's always glad that the other one's caved. It's just ridiculous. But Wink's got COPD quite mildly, and his doctor actually told him to give up. And so since he found out that, 2 or 3 months ago, I think it was, we've been, trying to stop, but not really very hard, just pathetic, really. Anyway, we've decided that absolutely no tobacco is to come back into this house when he comes back from Devon. Absolutely none. It's like, well, if I've got some left, I'm not throwing it away. And I was like, it's not coming back into this house, because there'll be a little bit left, and then that won't be a convenient day, and then we'll buy something, we'll just carry on and on. We have to stop. This doesn't go with my life. And I felt I'm so healthy in every other aspect, and then I do this ridiculous, filthy, dirty thing that I have been able to give up in the past. And a bit of me, my chimp is kind of not ready, or hasn't been ready. And my main motivation is listening to Wink's chest wheeze when we're snuggled up on the sofa, and listening to his awful breathing, just thinking, what are you doing, Susan? What are you doing? Anyway, shame is something, I guess I was ashamed that I was a smoker. Hardly anyone I know smokes. I don't smoke. Well, we didn't smoke at all in Texas. Not at all. Didn't even touch one. Fruit Fest, didn't smoke. Oh, I'll give up now. You come home, Wink's smoking. It's like, just roll one of his, tuck into one of those. And that's what we did when we came back from Texas. There was the tobacco in the drawer where we'd left it when we flew out. And the first thing we did was we came back and made a cigarette and went outside and had a smoke. We don't smoke in the house. But anyway, it's got to go now. We've both, even Wink's never wanted to give up, and I have. And I have made the excuse that because I'm married to a smoker, I'll probably never give up. I know my lungs are fine. I'm going to be the invincible one. It's just like absolute, utter madness. It's utter madness. And since I started yoga, which is 10 days ago today, it just doesn't fit in. It's even more now, it doesn't fit in with the life and what I want to do. Anyway, this is all kind of going off the point. I'm really sorry that I lied to you. I probably know the reasons, but they're really just excuses. One is I was ashamed of it. And not because I wondered what you'd think of me for smoking, because I don't worry about what other people think, but that maybe some of you who have been inspired by me and have really turned around your health might get off that journey, and I would be responsible for that. So I had always planned on discussing the fact that I smoked once I'd given up on Wednesday when Wink comes back. so that I could discuss it in the past tense. But I guess I ended up panicking because I wasn't prepared for the conversation. I was kind of blindsided by the question. I hadn't expected anyone to ask me. It kind of just came out of the blue. But it came out because Chrissy was brave enough to say, guys, I'm sitting here with pneumonia and I still smoke. I really need to stop smoking. That was really, really brave. And I actually ought to have had the balls to say that exactly what we would have said. Yeah, that's my last vice as well, smoking. You know, I hardly even ever have a drink. I haven't seen any of your comments because I kind of stopped at Chrissy's comment about the carton of cigarettes. So it would be my ego that thinks it deserves to have cigarettes, because it sure as hell isn't my cognitive, computer, rational brain that wants to do that. You know, I won't be 107 doing yoga on TV, which I know you've heard me say that sentence before. I've been saying it for years. If I carry on smoking, you know. So the smoking is going for sure. And what were the other things? So backsliding, you know, backsliding, maybe tucking into, I don't know, a steak, for a better word. Because we all have little things, you know, that's been not my secret, but it's just been something that I have avoided mentioning as part of me. And you see, this shame actually got my chimp to lie. That's how damaging feeling ashamed is. Because it makes you do things that you wouldn't do if you weren't so ashamed. So I spent Thursday feeling like a pile of poo, just even more ashamed, so ashamed. As first thing I said to Wink the next morning, because he would have been in bed by then, when I spoke to him when he finished work, I said what I'd done. I said, I just feel so ashamed. And I was going to come on and do a live about that, but it was much, you know, I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to take away from meeting the lovely Deborah Scott, by having to just hold my hand up and, you know, say I'm really sorry. But then I decided that I could either feel like a pile of poo, I could let that take all the positive things that I do, all the good that I do, all the things I'm proud of, and I could just focus on the fact that I hadn't given up smoking yet, and more importantly, that I'd told a lie. I don't do liars. I don't like people that lie, that people that don't tell the truth. I don't see any point. If you're not going to say the truth, what's the point, you know, in having a relationship with that person if they're just going to fib and lie and exaggerate and stuff like that? That's the, you know, I could either do that or I could allow myself to forgive myself, because otherwise that would define, colour, muddy, soil everything else that I try to do. So tonight I wanted to apologise for not feeling strong enough to just tell the truth. Instead, I picked a half truth because I did give up a massive part of my smoking habit over a year ago. So that's it. That's really what I wanted to talk about. And I think the thing that Chrissy was mentioning much earlier up the feed, about, you know, she almost threw the towel in and decided to give up completely her health kick because she's become ill, was because of the discussion that we had where I said I had decided to start forgiving myself. I've beaten myself up for long enough and I need to forgive myself and I need to come clean with you guys. So that is why I took those words in the topic, which I keep lost now because it's gone off my phone. Untruths. Yeah, I think I've covered those. So one of the things I was preparing is one of the things I thought was really brave about Chrissy is that she just broke up all her cigarettes and just stopped there and then. Because, you know, as Seeker says here, don't do it, Chrissy, it's not worth it. You know, I've smoked since I was 9. Gave up for 5 years once, gave up when I was pregnant. Actually, 2 years ago, I gave up for about 5 months and Wink continued to smoke. It caused so many arguments because he just stunk like an ashtray. His giant beard just stinking. Caused loads of arguments between us. Loads of distance between us over it because I would like the worst ex-smoker on the planet. Yeah, and something happened that kind of rocked my world, and absolutely I chewed a wasp about this thing that got cured by reading The Chimp Paradox, but it so deeply upset me that I just drove home like Sterling Moss, walked into the house and asked Wink if I could have some of his tobacco. And that was on the 27th of February, 2 years ago. And I haven't managed to give up since. I kind of made myself into a smoker again. Not a very heavy smoker, but, you know, it's still, you know, I put all these pure things in my body and then I suck down 4,000 chemicals, you know, 2 or 3 times a day. Telling myself crap about it, really. So I have given up in the past and I've never missed it. I didn't miss it when I was in Texas, so it's even more stupid that I do it. But I am very sorry that I lied to you and that this whole journey has been all about truth, openness, transparency. And I literally cannot remember. I was saying this to her. I said, I can't remember the last time I told a lie. I literally cannot remember. I'm looking like years and years and years and years, like before I even met Wink. And I'm just so sorry that it was you lovelies that I told a lie to out of shame, which is no excuse. It's still a lie. But it is the reason it happened. So shame is very destructive, a very, very destructive emotion. And yeah, just rubbish, really. So I decided, as a way of making it up to you, I would, in fact, if you can see this, give up smoking right now. There are the papers. Because I can do this, especially with your help. That's the tobacco. Gone. I'm never going to smoke another cigarette again. And Chrissy, you can do it too. And anyone else that wants to give up with me who smokes or secretly smokes or didn't want to say that they smoked or felt bad about smoking, because not many people smoke anymore, we can do it together. I was going to say that I thought it would be difficult, but that's just a lie I choose. That's just a story I choose to tell myself. It's not going to be difficult because I can do it. I don't want to do it anymore. And that man of mine who I love with all my heart is not coming into this house with one single strand of tobacco on him. And he knows I'm serious about that. So thank you for staying on and listening. And my sincere apologies for lying. There's no other way of saying it. I lied. Okay, so I have no idea what the comments are. Oh, bless you. Chrissy, so much of what you said back to me helped me. I felt like an absolute heel, scourge of the planet. You know, we're all human. We're all human. And sometimes we err. I think that means error. I might have to look that up later. Okay. I have forgiven myself, Bonnie. I did forgive myself, which is why I was able to bounce around the rest of this week. But I didn't feel that it would be very good to be bouncing around like the Queen of Sheba. Oh, by the way, I lied to you guys the other week. You know, a bit of respect due, actually, because I know a lot of you, you know, take my words of wisdom and my experience and apply it to your lives, you know, and you've all seen improvements, and we're all, you know, just lovely, lovely lovelies. And, you know, I just wanted to come clean. I think it's important to be honest, said the lying woman. It's important to be honest. So I just wanted to be honest with you all and tell you that I had made a mistake. So on that note, but still smoked. Oh, right. Okay. Core. I'm going to need help. I've struggled. Right. There is a brilliant book. It's called Stop Smoking in 1 Hour. It's by Susan Hepburn. When I gave up for 5 months living with a smoker in my house, that's wink, to I don't even know when it was. I didn't even mark the day. I think it was October or September, October, November, December, January, February. Yeah, I think it was September or October. I literally didn't put the date in the diary like some important event. I just read the book. Takes about an hour to read the book. Then I listened to the CD, and I never thought about smoking again. I couldn't even remember being a smoker. Really odd. It's brilliant. So I will put that in the comments. So now, one thing about willpower. Okay. Willpower is when you arm wrestle your chimp. And when you read this book, you'll find out about this. The chimp is 5 times stronger than the human. So you can't out wrestle your chimp. Willpower isn't enough. You have to quieten the chimp so the chimp doesn't want the cigarettes. You need to program this bit of your head, the computer bit of your head that says, actually, we don't need them. We're going to be just fine. We're just going to have this glass of water instead, or we're just going to not think about it. We're just going to go and do some gardening, or we're just going to go and fold the laundry, or we're just going to do something else, you know, instead. And the chimp goes, all right then. I'll just, yeah, all right. Okay then. But, you know, if, you know, so it's hard. It is hard. Oh, Elena, thank you, sweetheart. So it's hard, which is why we fail when we use willpower, because willpower is exhausting. And eventually we can't do it anymore. That's why we create new habits. Because when you create a habit, although it might be exhausting to start with, like, oh, I really want some cheese. I really want some cheese. I've just eaten some. I really want some cheese. You know, whatever it is, you know, some people are stuck on eggs. Some people still like milk. Some people are still on dairy. I know some of you have got bits that you're not fully in yet, and that's okay. Oh, I've lost the train of what I was going to say now. Oh, gosh, I was going to make a really important point. I've completely forgotten what it is now. Dum, 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 dum. I got too into my I really want cheese thing, which I don't want cheese. Is human to forgive, divine. Ah, Lindsay, thank you so much. Yeah, habits, that was it. So whilst we're creating the new habit, it's hard. We struggle. We arm wrestle our chimp that wants the cake. We arm wrestle it, and it's exhausting, and it's exhausting. But hell, we can do anything for one day, can't we? And then the next day, hell, I can do it for one day. And we work towards 21 days it takes to create a new habit. That's why a lot of these programs like 30 days, oh, anyone can do anything for 30 days. I did veganuary for 31 days, and that was it. Bar a few bites of meat here, there, and everywhere, and the odd truffled down bar of chocolate, sort of like, oh, it's only got milk in it, because you know, like I kind of don't really have the need for chocolate anymore. It's funny, really, but I don't. When we create that new habit, it becomes a habit. And the good things about habit, and I know that some of you will have heard me say this before, the thing about habits, there's no willpower needed. It's a habit. You do it without thinking. You know, you clean this. I always clean those teeth first. Always. You know, and I had an abscess on my tooth there a couple of months ago. It's gone now. I've willed it away and it's gone. I will not lose that tooth. And the toothpaste is on the toothbrush, and most of it goes here. And I'm like, why don't you put it up there first? I couldn't make myself clean my teeth in a different way, even though I had something reminding me that it needed cleaning, you know, extra specially. I don't have to think about it. It's willpower. It's a habit. It's habitual. I always put my right leg in my trouser first. I don't think about it. It's a habit. And that's what we're doing with creating new habits. So if we create a new habit, if you can fight, if you can arm wrestle your chimp for just, you know, a few days, one day at a time, you know, you can do it. And the other thing in Susan Hepburn's Giving Up Smoking is every time you feel the need for a cigarette, you just go, and you do that, I think, 10 times. You get bored after 5. I've tried it. I did that for the first day when I gave up last time. Because after you've done that, you know, the whole, you get calm because you're That's half the thing that you think cigarettes calm you down. Not that I feel stressed and need calming down. It's just a habit. It's just a habit that I need to break. It's the breathing. Duh, it's the breathing. So you don't even have to do that. Just go, just like you would take a drag of a cigarette. And that might actually be enough to get you past wanting to actually light one. And Chrissy, you're going to have to collaborate with your husband and ask him to not allow you to have them. Can't out of the house and don't give me one if I ask. Yes, I've tried that one. And Wink's gone, yeah, but you'll just get all angry and you know. And of course, Wink really wants me. He wants to have his smoking partner, you see, because then, you know, it's no fun standing outside in the garden by yourself, is it? So he would give in really easily. But this time, you know, Wink's lungs depend on it. And my yoga depends on it. And me being, you know, walking the walk and talking the talk, you know, it's important. And it's important for me. Before I met Wink, I remember doing Your Ideal Husband. And I literally wrote this great big long list of all the things that I wanted my husband to be like. And the things that the first thing on my list was a non-smoker. That was the first thing on my list. And then there were 25 things on my list, and all of them just described Wink, who I hadn't even met yet again. But of course, he was a smoker, and so was I. And I used to tell myself, oh, if I meet someone, you know, they can't be a smoker. I don't want to. If I'm not going out with anyone that's a smoker, I'm just not going to go out with them. That's what I used to say, because I know if I marry a smoker, I'll always be a smoker. You know, and that's only true if I keep telling myself that. Otherwise, it's a lot of old rubbish. And whether you think you can and whether you think you can't, either way, you're right. So, Chrissy, you can do it, and tell your husband to absolutely not give them to you, like they belong to his work. And, you know, nobody was able or allowed outside of the company to see or touch these objects or to even know of their whereabouts, like Official Secrets Act, that kind of thing. So that it's absolutely really, really important that however much you squeal, he says no to you. Even if you shout back at him and get all cross with him and say words that you wouldn't like to say in public, that he just stick by his guns. That's my advice. So anyone else here, I'm going to have to read them. I gave up yoga for years ago, wanted to deep breathe. Do you know, the breathing is fantastic. We did a load of breathing exercises tonight that were just amazing. It is amazing, absolutely amazing, the breathing. There's no shaker in getting help. My brain understands, but the habit does take over. Yeah, help. We're ashamed to ask for help. And this is what I love about you guys so much, is you message me and you ask for help, you know. And I'm honored that you chose to ask me. What a privilege that is for me. And I know you all are helping each other out as well. It's just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Right. I've just looked at the time. 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. But we've nearly been on 3 hours. That's because we were having such a wonderful talk about grief and lovely things. And I had to come on to say this. So we have a few more smokers in here. If you want to do a group, if you're on Facebook with me, with Chrissy and I, we can so do this. It's just a habit. There aren't even any withdrawal symptoms to it. There's a slight feeling of like, I don't know what I want. That's all it is. It's not like a blinding headache. It's not like, you know, vomiting. It's not like your left leg falls off. It's a slight feeling of disconcertion, and that disconcertion, I think I've just made up a new word. That's all it is. But the garbage in your head about why you need it and why you deserve it, and your chimp going nuts at you, and you think it calms you down. It doesn't. Speeds up your heart rate, doesn't calm you down at all. The bit that calms you down is the breathing. So just the breathing. Suck your breath in, hold it for a few seconds, let it out. That's what calms you down. The nicotine is heart rate up here. My poor lungs must look awful. I want them to look all pink and beautiful again. I want to be as beautiful on the inside as I am on the outside. Oh, she said with her green hair. My husband says he's willing to quit after I actually do. We've done this before, and I cheat, but he doesn't. He's got great willpower, not me, though. This has happened. You see, and Wink has never wanted to give up. So whenever I go off the rails, he was like, that's it, I'm not giving up now. No, I was ready, but you weren't. That's it. I'm just like, I never wanted to give up. My mum's 90, blah, blah, and she smokes, and she's fine. It's like, row, row, row. Oh, I can't tell you how many arguments we've had about smoking, you know. But he actually said before he went away, he went, I suppose I really ought to give up. You know, I really should give up. You are right, love. No, sweet pea, I think he said, or darling. And that is just like, yes, Wink's actually made a decision in his head that he needs to give up, because you can't give up unless you decide. And the book doesn't work unless you want to give up. You have to actually want to give up. And I'm looking forward to not stinking. Sounds awful, doesn't it? But I have to wash my hands and wash my hands and wash my hands and wash my hands before I go to yoga, and then cover myself in perfume and change my clothes just in case anything's got near anything, you know. And then I've had this, you're not allowed to have a cigarette until you've been to yoga, and then I have one when I come back from yoga. It's just like, and then it feels so wrong. It feels so wrong. So I've given up now, publicly. So there we go. Who else is smoking? Somebody else. Was it Seek? I used to kind of chew tobacco. Did start up years later, but found I totally didn't. Yeah, when I started again after that event happened that kind of I just twisted about for a whole year. I had to make myself become a smoker. I had to keep having another one. Oh, it's disgusting, throwing it away. Oh, I might have another try. Oh, disgusting, throw it away. I have another try. Oh, God, I got through half of that one. You know, by 2 days, it was kind of, oh, there's this or that. They don't really taste nice, but, you know, it's doable. Oh, idiot woman I was. But, you know, what I did then is I fell back into old patterned behavior. And I mentioned that earlier on. Old patterned behavior, that he will do this, and he will do it because he's got COPD, Snow. He is going to literally call smoking less is a go start. Call smoking less is a good start. It is. I've been smoking less since Wink's been away, and the yoga really. Wink will do it because he realizes that he's going to greatly shorten his life, and the quality of his life isn't going to be very good if he can't breathe. So, and I've told him I wasn't put on this earth to wheel about some invalid who self-inflicted, you know, unbreathableness on himself. And, you know, he doesn't want to do that to me. I don't smoke anymore. I do vape, but nicotine free. Good for you. Yeah, Wink's got one of those. He likes blueberry. I think he'll just become addicted to that and he'll puff it endlessly. But, you know, at least it won't be smoke. I vape CBD for pain and I smoke much less. Good for you, girl. Who else called? Was it Elena? Did Elena say that she smoked the other night? Or did I read that wrong? I don't know. Yeah, even if you have to do it 1 hour at a time, take it one step at a time. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at this disgusting mess on the table. Looks like a pint of bitter. There's no rescuing that, is there? Oh, it smells it smells disgusting. Hip, hip, hooray! Right. Okay, I'm going to read all your comments. Snow White, Chrissy, I have zero willpower, but helping others helps me. Yes. Focusing on others takes the attention away from you and the arm wrestle you're having with your chimp that's 5 times stronger than you. So, oh, hang on a minute. Yeah, it's 5. I think it's 5 times stronger than you. And the computer is 20 times faster than the chimp. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. I need to reread that book myself. I used to chew. Willpower. Oh, I don't smoke anymore. I vape. I've done that one. Thanks, Seeker. Needed to hear that. I'm really hard on myself. Yeah, we're all too hard on ourselves. We're our worst critic. We would never say the things that we say in our own head to ourselves. And that's what's flicked me around, because I couldn't forgive myself for lying, because I have such a harsh opinion about people that lie myself. And I pride myself, like for decades, on my honesty. And then I just thought, what advice would I be giving someone else that was in my shoes now? And I would be saying, you need to forgive yourself. You can't move on till you forgive yourself. And I just thought I wouldn't accept my own advice for a while. And then I just thought, Susan, you idiot. This is the advice you would give to somebody. So why don't you take that advice yourself and start forgiving yourself? And then I started feeling a lot better. And then I got Chrissy's message apologizing for putting me on the spot. And it just, by the time I'd finished replying to that, it had all washed away and I was all in happy bunny land again. Yeah, we all do, Lindsay. You see, if Wink and I are busy, we don't smoke all day. We don't even think about it. But we're not even, I'm a habitual smoker, not an addictive smoker. There you go. I think that's what it is. Anyway, looks like iced tea. Yeah, it does. Smells vile, though, I can assure you. Right. Now, before I sign off with all you lovely lovelies, I think, Debs, are you on? Are you still on? Or have you lost the will to live listening to me rambling on for ages? Kate, Cowbell, what a coincidence. I'm going to my doctor to see about being prescribed Chantix tomorrow. What's Chantix? Is it an anti-smoking thing? Lindsay, being honest is awesome and the first step. Yeah, it is. Being honest with yourself. Elena, I'm not a smoker. Cool. It must have been Core then. Maybe it was Core that's... I thought somebody else said... I don't know. I don't read all the comments because I have to get the video. The comments come through in real time when you replay the video. And if I'm looking at, I haven't got time to whiz through 3 hours of video to find comments. So I was sorry, sweetheart, if I'm glad you've clarified that. Elena is not a smoker. Neither am I anymore, and neither is Chrissy. We are ex-smokers. We are people that used to smoke that don't smoke anymore. Lindsay, me too. Chantic, there are certain cigarettes I have to have, lol. Cool, there are no coincidences. Certain cigarettes you have to have. Right, I don't know what they are. Excellent. Okay, cool, do yoga again. If you loved it then, you'll love it now. Elena, we still love you no matter what. We just would love you more, living longer. Elena looks like I'm not a smoker. She's not a smoker. Did you mean Lindsay? Me too. There are no coincidences. Right, it's a medication that makes you nauseous when you smell cigarettes. You smell. Oh, right, okay, excellent. Throwing up instead of smoking. I expect that would be preferable breath to smoker's breath. Breathing is a lot more fun than smoking. Yeah, it is, isn't it? It is. It is. It is. On a good note, I have lost 6 pounds in weight this week. Amazing, isn't it? I thought I felt light today. And also, the ones that come with habit, Sue. Breathing is more fun. They're the ones that come with habit, Sue. Oh, right, okay. Is that nuns? Sorry, couldn't resist. I've just finished watching, much to my sadness, Call the Midwife, which have a lot of nuns. You're her. I am her. Are you speaking very posh English? I'm her, darling. Debs is her. Still here. Right, okay. So we have a little, like with the first drink on the Monday. Oh, right. I see. Yeah, they're the ones I have. They're the one before bed. I had the last one before I came on tonight. Da da da. Every disgusting last puff of it. Not enjoying them either. Every puff I have is just filled with guilt. That I shouldn't be doing it, and that I should be stronger, and that I should be less of a worse. And it feels bad, and rah, just like endless, like every puff, there's just like shrouded in a whole load of guilt. Congrats. Whoop, whoop. Well done, Sue. I'm smoking hot. Yeah, so am I, babes. We're smoking hot without actually having smoke coming out of our lungs. Morning coffee and a cig. Yeah. Yeah, my morning tea with the piggies. Yeah, and the one before bed. Although I don't always have those now. And Wink doesn't either, which is good. But he's going to be stopping too. Yes, you are, Elena. I'm here. She's here. I can see you. Oh, I can see you. Right. I keep getting like distractible woman. Yeah. Well, yeah. I didn't really. I always hoped that it would be nice. Like in my head, they are. Never really. And I always feel like, that's what happens to my energy when I have a cigarette. My energy just goes straight down. I literally, like a balloon deflating. Doesn't go right down, but it definitely goes down. I know. I can't believe it because I think I've been eating quite a lot. Haven't done any fasting. I don't know if it's the yoga or I don't know. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I'm really, really pleased. Actually, if it was the yoga, I probably would have put on weight because I'd have turned fat into muscle, and muscle's much heavier. I got my heels down in downward dog tonight for the first time ever, and I managed to jump back into cobra rather than stumble back, and I managed to get my legs right over my head and touching the floor in the shoulder stand, which initially hurt my scar, but I've managed to wiggle it so it's not on it. So 10 days of yoga, the transformation is incredible. Going to concentrate on being here for you, whatever it is now. Bless you, Snow. You're just absolutely gorgeous. Right. So before I go, we have a little surprise, don't we, Debs? I don't know what the lag is, but basically, Debs is with one of our lovelies in person. So we're going to go live with one of our gorgeous, wonderful lovelies after my live here. But obviously Debs didn't realise I would just go on and on like forever. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to finish this live now. And then I'm going to have, a bit of a break, only a little one. And then we're going to come on and you can enjoy meeting online, one of our lovelies, seeing two of our lovelies together somewhere in the United States. So, lots of love to you all. Thank you so much for not hanging up the phone in disgust, blowing me raspberries, and giving me generally a slap up the side of the head. I appreciate your love and friendship so very much. So thank you very much to all of you. I really hope that some of the things that I've said have resonated or helped you in some way. That is, well, it's not the whole point of this, because community and support, and we just all love each other. But, I want to do good, and I want everyone to, Debs. Yes, Debs is still there. Okay. So I hope this has helped some people. Guilt, get rid of that guilt, be brave, and forgive yourself and other people for things. Okay. Love you. See you in a little bit, but I'll see you for this show with Dr. Gilmore. We'll be back on Thursday. Okay, lots of love. Bye.